Chapter 7. Fear. A friend of mine from high school, Carl Johnson, spent his career in law enforcement, first in the military as an MP, and then with the Oakland Police Department.
Actually, we were sitting in the car, and I was trying to catch up on reports. And a lady walked up to the window, and she taps on the window, and I said, "Oh, shit, what's she want now?" And she says, "Officer," she says, there's a guy out there, and he's in the store in front of the Walgreens area, he says, and he's got a rifle. And I looked at her, I says, "What?" So I says, "Okay," I said, "I'll take care of it." And so I got out the car, and I said, because it was just a half a block away. So I took a left turn at the corner, walked down about 6 doors, and she was right. There's a guy standing there with a rifle. And we walked up on each other. He saw me the same time I saw him. And I said, "Hey," I said, "what the hell are you doing?" And he looked at me funny, and I looked at him. I said, drop the gun. And he hesitated. And I said, "Oh, shit, this is going to get ugly." I could see it. And he says, "Well, I'll drop mine if you tell him to drop his." And I said, "What do you mean drop his?" Because I didn't see anybody there but him. And I says, "Oh, man, this guy's a nut." Come to find out, there was another guy there. I had never seen this. That's when I sort of got a little shook up. I said, "Oh, yeah. Shit, there's a guy standing there." And I was sort of in between the two of them because I rounded the corner, and this other guy was behind me, but he didn't say anything. He was standing, and he had a gun. And it was like a Mexican standoff there between these two. And I said, "Hey," I said, "all right, everybody take a deep breath." And I said, "Both of you put your guns down." And I said, "Man, just let me hold on until we get some help here." And the guy that sort of saved everything was the guy that I couldn't really see because he was behind me. He says, "Officer," he says, "I'll put mine down, and, you make sure he puts his down." I said, "Both of you, put your guns on the ground." And they both laid their guns down. And I asked this, I said, "What the hell was going on here?" And the guy says, it was a bad drug deal is what it was. And one was the seller, one was the buyer. The buyer was pissed off because he didn't get what he thought he was supposed to get. And the seller had said he'd gotten all he was going to get. And I don't know how it would have ended up if I hadn't walked up on it.
So these guys were being arrested for what, assault or drug dealing? Or
drug dealing, possession of a firearm. One of them was a felon in possession of a firearm. The other guy was just crazy. And the crazy one was the one I was worried about. After everybody got hooked up and everything was okay, then it sort of sunk in. Oh, shit, that was a close one there.
What do you think was the key thing that you did that unwound it from a possible violent situation?
If I'd have done anything stupid, it would have been ugly. It would have been an ugly afternoon,
So you didn't have a gun drawn? Your own gun wasn't drawn?
No, I didn't even have a chance to get mine out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, later on, as things started to calm down a little bit, I eased mine out, and I had it down, out of my holster, but down by my side. But they still had their 2 guns. And so the thing that was going through my mind, if it gets ugly, which one do you shoot it first? Because that was the first thing across my mind. One's crazy, and one's a felon with a gun that don't want to go back to jail. And it was a flip the coin. And now the nut was the guy that was buying. He was half high at the time, so he might have been the first one. I'd have been shooting him right off the bat.
Mm.